We are live. Welcome to BJJ Suomi live, Rico Bastos.
It's a pleasure to be here, finally.
Finally, yes. We tried to
Yes.
arrange this a while ago, but things happened and we couldn't make this happen then. But I'm really glad that we can make this now.
So I'm happy to. I would like to say sorry because on the first time we set that meeting, I couldn't be there on time. Okay, so it was a different time for everyone, right?
Yeah,
So I had to adjust some things here, and then back when we said that was right on the beginning when I was getting those things done. So now everything's fine. Now it's a good time for us to talk.
good. Like I mentioned in our my Instagram and Facebook post, you are one of the IBJJF referees, and you are also one of the main referees who are doing the referee trainings
Yes.
for the newer referees. Tell me a little bit about your history in Jiu-Jitsu and also your history. How did you ended up being one of the main referees for IBJJF?
Uh, I started Jiu-Jitsu in 1990. That was 30 years ago. And then since the beginning, I have always been competing a lot. Okay, I started jiu-jitsu in a Monday, and then on the follow Saturday was already my first tournament, me and my brother. Okay, and since then we have been competing a lot until 2002, June of 2002. That's when I got my black belt. Okay, then I kept competing a lot until 2015. Okay, 2015 is when I had a surgery on my knee. And I started refereeing. First was more like to keep me going for tournaments. I never been the type of person that likes to go for tournaments just to watch. I never been that type, and I was already refereeing before, but only on the tournaments that I wouldn't compete. So I always liked that. Okay, and in 2015, after my surgery, then that's when I start going for uh, almost all the tournaments. One of the head directors of IBJJF, like all of them, they know me since the very first IBJJF tournament back as a CBJJ, right, in Brazil. And they saw me like growing as a person, as a competitor. Okay, uh, and what they used to say is because of my jiu-jitsu, I would have a lot of things to bring in to help on the referees.
Yeah,
So then I start, and I like that a lot. I feel that I can help, I can bring something very productive for the jiu-jitsu community.
okay.
If now than if I was competing. We already have so many like let's say old school guys like my brother, and I think we need more of those guys helping with the rules, So that's one of the main reasons that I'm there now.
Yeah. And when did you start doing the referee seminars for the newer referees?
My very first one was in 2017. Okay, 2000. So I did my surgery in Brazil in 15. Was October of 2015, and then I just came back to US January of 2016. That's when I started going for every tournament here in America. And then in May of 2017 was my first tournament as a head referee. It was the first time I taught the whole seminar.
Okay. Just hold on a second. I have to say one thing in Finnish. Rikolla on internet-yhteydessä pieniä ongelmia ja sen takia tuo kuva häviää välillä tuosta noin. Mutta ääni toimii koko aika, niin yrittäkää kestää se, että välillä häviää naama tuosta ruudusta, mutta pyritään siihen, että ainakin ääni kuuluisi koko aika. Okay. We have had, usually have a few questions like on beforehand from our viewers, and there haven't been so many questions, but a couple of questions. And one of the questions that was asked many times was, why does IBJJF referees hate Keenan Cornelius?
The first question would be, what makes them believe that someone hates him? Okay. Like talking by myself, I have a good relationship with him. Okay, I have been on like a lot of, actually, like the last tournament that I fought, he was my last fight, and that's I hurt my neck on that fight, and I couldn't go until the end. And since then, we always had a good relationship. Okay, and even now as a referee, I believe there is no real reason to believe that anyone does hate him. I see him as a very, very good, one of the best over there fighters. Okay, he's the type of guy that has always stepping on the podium since his beginning as a black belt. Okay, and it's not easy for being there. And like, actually, I don't even see a reason for that. I have seen complaints about some of his fights, okay, but I don't see that. I can tell you some guys that have way more problems with the referees than him, and people don't say anything about that.
Yeah. There's another question that kind of relates to this one. IBJJF gets a lot of kind of like a bad rep, or like kind of a bad heat from the Jiu-Jitsu community, especially the Western Jiu-Jitsu community, a lot. How does that affect you as a referee, or referees in general in IBJJF, when the federation that you work for gets all that kind of like a bad rep from the community that actually goes to those tournaments and support the federation by going to the tournaments, but still complain a lot? How does that affect you as a referee, or how does that kind of reflect on the referees in the scene?
Yeah, I think for sure it's no good. Okay, it's no good. I believe that we should be walking in and off the tournaments and even being noticed. Okay, so you have as a referee, I walking into a fight that's like Buchecha against Cornelius, and my goal is to walking in and walking off, and nobody will even remember who was the referee. Okay, that's the goal. Like in a jiu-jitsu tournaments, the only stars are the athletes.
Yes.
Okay, so I believe most of that comes because we don't have only black belts competing. Okay, and most of the playing comes on the lower belts. So they have a voice, they like to talk.
Yeah.
But it's no good. It's no good. Like I saw every tournament I watch, and people like to relate everything to the referees. I saw so many things talking like big bullshit about the referees at last ADCC, and talking bullshit about them related that what they did to the Ibjjf rules. So
Yes.
wait. So first you go there and you see the difference on the rules. Then you see that the mistake that you're saying doesn't even exist. So you shouldn't even be talking about that, you know?
Yeah. I think that myself too. I'm, as many of us know, do some refereeing myself as well. Not on the IBJJF, but on the ADCC and some on the Finnish circuit as well. But most of the complaints come from people not really understanding the rules, or and does not understand how to apply the rules. And then a huge amount of complaints come and doesn't even relate to the situation that they are actually complaining about. So the complaints mainly are about they're not liking the guy who won, or they don't support the winner or something like that. So it's usually that's the case, I think.
I talked to the referees on the referee training program. Like that is a real situation that happened. Okay, that's a guy that he made his internet post before the tournament. Okay, so I did everything that was supposed to do. Then I had some injuries, and my dog wasn't good, but I'm going for my family. I'm going for my teammates. That's why I'm gonna do it. Blah 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 blah. Like already making an excuse before the tournament.
Yeah.
Right. And then he goes to the tournament, and on the very first fight, uh, the other guy scores 28 points on him and finished him in 5 minutes. After scoring 28 points on him, did the number and he tapped. And now this guy goes home and he has to like explain somehow what happened over there. And then he starts his post saying, hey, like I said before, I had some injuries. I don't know if I was like, that's not the real me over there, blah, blah, blah. But I still had to go there and test myself because I have a lot of people that supports me. And on the beginning of the fight, I was doing good, but then the referee made a mistake, not giving me an advantage. So wait. So when the referee didn't give that advantage that you believe you should get that advantage, you were losing by 8 points already. Then after that, the other guy scored another 20 points on you, and then finish you in a number. So you are asking about one advantage that the referee maybe didn't give you, you know?
Yeah.
I believe that's the biggest point I'm not saying like that we as a referees, we are perfect. I'm not saying that we are the best in the world, okay? But like on 98% of the emails we get after every tournament are like wrong. So comes a email and the guy complaining, oh, I can't believe you let this type of a guy have free on your guys tournaments because like the other athletes mount on my student and he gave 4 points for that. And then wait, what did I miss here? He's complaining because the referee gave 4 points to a guy that mount on the other, but mount is 4 points.
Yeah.
And then you reply to the guy, I'm sorry, sir, but mount is 4 points in jiu-jitsu. And then the guy get even more mad and say, you're trying to defend the referees, you're not being fair to me, blah, blah, blah. So like if we get that type of emails, imagine what goes around on internet.
Yeah, for sure. IBJJ is so huge organization. It has like, I don't know how many competitions around the world every year. Normal year, not this year, but no, normal year they have a lot of tournaments. Like almost every weekend, there is some kind of an IBJJF tournament somewhere. So there is thousands and thousands and even thousands competitors around the world competing in IBJJF rules and under IBJJF flag. There must be, of course, usually when people write about the tournament or especially when they give feedback about the tournament to the organization, it is usually negative. That's when people start writing emails. They really rarely write an email saying that everything went well and I was very happy of my of my experience. They might write that somewhere in their Facebook or something like that, but when they write emails, that's usually negative. So I can imagine there's a lot of that kind of emails because of, I don't know, IBJJF must have like 25,000 competitors every year, at least. Does those like complaints or like does that go through to the referees and do you discuss about those things, or does it go through some kind of a department of what is happening here? I don't know what is going on. Let's see. Rico, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. That's just that you have, okay, no worries. Did you hear me the whole time? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Pieniä teknisiä ongelmia, pieni hetki. Tuolla Amerikassa on sitten ihan viittavaille paskat internetit verrattuna näihin suomalaisiin. Tässä nyt on pieni tekninen ongelma.
Hello?
Yes, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Nice.
Good. We lost you for a while. But like I was saying, IBJ is such a huge organization and you must get a lot of emails. And usually when the emails are written, they are negative because people rarely write positive comments. How do you get those emails as referees, or do you talk about those emails as a referees, and do you try to, if there's, of course, long days, a lot of fights, there is of course, there is some mistakes that happens. Do you discuss about those with the referees, or does somebody just reply like general replies to the person who is writing the emails?
Yeah, we always talk about those, mistakes, even the ones that are not noticed, you know, like I can tell you fights that were a mistake, but the person that took advantage of that mistake, people like a lot. So,
Yeah.
and we get a lot of good emails as well. Like what I said, about 98% of the emails related to mistakes, you
Yeah.
know. But every tournament we have a lot of emails, like good ones, you know. And even when we don't see that as a mistake, as a referee, you know that sometimes you're gonna see a movement going on over there, okay? Just because we are in a different angle, we're gonna see that movement different.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call it one thing, and I'm gonna call it another thing, because just because we are seeing from different angles doesn't mean you are right and I'm wrong, and vice versa. You know, that makes a huge difference. What we try to do is bring those type of things inside the halfway training program. Okay, when we are having tournaments, every week we make some change on the halfway training program every week, to add something, or maybe just to change something, to bring a better reality to the referees. Okay, but still knowing that until that type of thing happen over there, okay, we do not know if the guy will be ready, will have understood what we're trying to say. Like, we come from a different lineage. We for sure will have learned some things in a different way. Okay, so we're gonna have a different point of view about a lot of things.
Yeah.
So how can you play the rules and you make everyone happy with that?
Of course, rules are always a compromise. So there can never be optimal rules for everybody, especially in
Exactly.
jiu-jitsu, because there's so many ways that you can play jiu-jitsu. So it's always a compromise. Um, how many like of those like main referees who are giving the referee seminars? How many of you are in the world at the moment? Do you have any idea?
Right now, I can tell you, like specifically now, we are having only webinars. Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
rules
Yeah.
webinars, and there is only 5 people allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 3 head referees that could work as a head referee in Brazil. 3 guys.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 4, 5 here in America. I'm one of them. And we have 2 in Europe. The goal is to be able to have at least one on each side of the world, but it's hard, because to be able to control the referees, you need to know what's going on over there.
Yeah, for sure.
So you have to be a referee and get a good amount of experience before move to a head referee.
Yeah.
And be able to still be a referee, because like I said, the things change a lot, you know.
Yeah. How do you, as the head referees, do you keep contact with each other regularly, or and how do you keep in kind of like on the edge of the game, as you would say, and to keep because jiu-jitsu is evolving all the time, and there's people evolving and inventing new stuff. So as a head referees who are giving the courses to the younger referees and working as a head referees in the tournaments, do you keep contact with each other and discuss about the new kind of nuances and techniques of jiu-jitsu?
And it's easy to tell you that we talk almost every day. Almost every day we have a group chat on the phone, and we are always switching videos back and forth. Okay, when we don't have a video of what happened, we go to our own schools, and then we find a way to record that movement to be able to work on that together, you know. So we are always talking. Like I said, we're not gonna be able to make everyone happy, but we work like a lot to make everyone have a good understanding of the rules. My goal was to everyone that's assigns for a tournament knowing the rules, plus their coaches, you know, because like I said, most of the complaints comes from people that doesn't know the rules.
Yeah.
Let's say a tournament that we had this year, Houston Open. Okay, we had over 1,000 competitors in a one-day tournament. Okay, do you know? Guess how many people was on the rules seminar a day before?
Actually, we talked about that before. I don't remember if it was the Houston Open or if it was another tournament that we were talking about, but it was ridiculously low. It was like 10 people or something like that.
Yeah, the Houston Open was 20.
20, yeah. It was some other tournament we were talking about. Like it was like last winter we talked about. It was not. It was something. I think it was Chicago or something like way north. That had like.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe it was Chicago. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
It was like 1,500 fighters and like 10 people in the rule seminar. Like that's really bad. like
yeah. So
it's hard to get the rules to.
A question to the jiu-jitsu community now. Okay, so if we have 1,500 competitors and we have 10 people, only 10 guys going to the rule seminar, okay, do you think that most of the mistakes that happen on the tournaments are based on the referees doing mistake or due to the people not knowing the rules?
Yeah.
For sure, there will be at least some mistakes done by the referees.
Of course, it's humans. So
yes.
Everybody makes mistakes.
So you like, I know you as a person. I know how much you commit to that. I know how it's important to you, okay, to be able to go there and do a good job. I know how much you care about the athletes, okay, but at the end of the day, you are a human being.
Yeah.
So more than you can make a mistake is at some point you will make a mistake.
Yeah, for sure.
especially because doing the as you see, sometimes I can send you videos that you're gonna watch 5 times, and in all the 5 times you might change your opinion.
Yeah.
But imagine that over there with all the pressure around, and you being able to see that only once. So you cannot call that a mistake, I believe.
Yeah. Do you think that there should be like kind of like video replay in jiu-jitsu matches, or would that make it even harder for the referees?
On IBJJF, the major tournaments, we do have that. Okay, we have 2 cameras on the opposing angles, and we try to have those cameras on the opposing angles of the side referees. So we would have one eye on each of the sides of the match, plus the central referee. Okay, so, and we have 2 other referees outside that there will be somewhere where they can see the fight. Okay, and as they see something that they might disagree, they will have access to those 2 cameras. One has a 5-second delay, the other one has a 10-second delay, and they will be able to watch that from a different angle, to rewatch that as in a different angle. And if it's not enough, they will be able to maybe bring the video back and watch it again, which is no good, because let's say in a black belt level match, if you allow a guy to have 2 points for 30 seconds, and then you take those points off, even for just 30 seconds, you can change the reality of the fight.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
when you see
even
the
for
points
the
on
video,
the
the decision has to be made like as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, and usually people come with their own videos after the match, saying that there was a mistake on this part or that part of the match. Does IBJJF recognize those like video evidences after the match, or when the match is over, it's done, and that's how the match is going to be ruled, even though there's people with the videos? Do you even watch the videos after the match if a fighter or the coach is asked to do that?
I asked them to send it to me because, as like I said, it for sure we're gonna find a way to bring it inside the referee training program.
Yeah, but like,
Okay.
just to review after the tournament, it doesn't affect the results or anything like that in the tournament.
The only situation that we can bring a fight back to the mat and change the result is if there was a mistake on the scoreboard. Let's say the referee gave the points and the scorekeeper gave to the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and or then we're gonna have to watch the whole fight and see what the movement happened, how the referee gave the points. If there was a real mistake, okay, then we would bring it back and change the result, because the guy, like, he won. Will never be about, okay, but my student got in half a guard and the referee didn't give the advantage. Will never be about that, you know. But if a point that the referee gave and somehow it's not on the scoreboard or on the wrong athletes, we're gonna change it, okay. Or if there was a illegal submission for that color belt, and the referee by mistake saw it as illegal, or if that was illegal that the referee saw it as an illegal movement.
Yeah.
Then we are able to make that change.
Yeah. There was a situation like a couple of years ago with the Finnish fighter who won his match in the Europeans, and he was announced the winner of the fight. But on the guy who works the machine, who puts the result on the on the brackets. He made a mistake and he put the wrong guy forward in the brackets. The next round game, they announced the loser's name, and he went and fought and win the next fight and continue in the brackets. And after that, it was too late for that Finnish guy to make any kinds of complaints, because for him it was way too late. No, I think the guy lost his fight or whatever. It doesn't matter if he lost or won the fight. But in those kinds of mistakes that are really human mistakes, but it kind of affects on, of course, the whole tournament, because the wrong guy went advanced in the tournament. Is there anything that could be done? Like if, for example, in this case, these two guys fight, he wins and he loses, but he advances and goes to the next fight. Is there any possibility to cancel the next fight and have this guy fighting, or does that interrupt the tournament too much to allow that kind of a change on the brackets on the go? In your opinion, of course, it's just the opinion of one referee, not the whole federation.
Like as a head referee, what I would do is I would take the guy that lost to your student off the belt. Even if he's already on final, he would get put off the bracket because he's already lost.
Yeah,
he lost his fight. Okay, and like that, and what are we gonna be able to do to your fighter? Then it's very complicated, because depending on how many matches the other guy did. Okay, let's say your student won the
not my student
quarter final, and then the other guy lost but went to the semifinal and won. Okay,
yeah.
Wouldn't be hard to bring that other guy that fought on the semifinal to fight your student for a place in the final. Okay,
Yeah.
but sometimes we have a bracket with almost 200 people.
Yeah.
So you win your brackets and you go to face the winner of the other brackets, and then you face the winner of other two brackets that already fought. So in those situations would be way harder to find a solution for that. What we have been done now is like we have as many checkpoints as we can. Okay, and the last line is the referees, that they have to hold and see what name the scorekeeper sends as a winner on every fight.
Yeah.
So it happened on the beginning of that program that we use now. It used to happen sometimes, but now it's way harder to happen. But as you said, like it was a human mistake.
Yeah,
so
for
I
sure.
cannot promise that will not happen anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And I can't remember how the other guy went after that first fight, but I think Ibjjf did a good job after that, because of course it was too late to kind of do any actual changes on the tournament. But Ibjjf sent the guy. It's not from. He's not one of from my academy where I train, but from a different academy anyway. But Ibjjf sent him apologizing and reimbursed his participation fee and stuff like that. And I think they gave him kind of like a free pass to a tournament or something like that. And I think the guy who went forward, even though he lost, he got a warning or something like that from the Ibjjf. And I think in that case, because there was nothing else to be done, that was, I think, the best thing that they could do for the that kind of a mistake that happened. It was an unfortunate mistake, but shit happens sometimes. What you can do about it?
Yeah, like for sure, that's the type of thing that has, because you have to show that person that you care about what happened.
Yeah.
You have to. So that is nothing else you could or you should do more than show.
Did we lose your voice, Rico? Hello. Taas katkeilee nää äänit, voi perseet veik. Katsotaan kuin meidän käy. Is your sound on? Pistäkäähän kysymyksiä, kuulkaa. Instagramissa tai YouTubessa tässä välissä. Toivotaan, että sieltä tuli Mr. Bastoksen naamakin vielä esille. Niin jos on jotain kysymyksiä, niin laittakaa ihmiset tulemaan. Niin saadaan tähän väliin vielä kysymyksiä laitettua. Do you hear me?
Not yet.
Yes, now I can hear you.
Ah, awesome.
Good.
Now you can even see me, right?
Yes, yes. Video is working. It's good. People can see your beautiful face.
Oh, thank you. So where were we?
I can't remember.
Yeah, show them that you care about. You
And I
know,
think,
that's the minimum that we have to do.
yes, I think Ibjjf did a very good job on dealing with that situation, in my opinion, and all the respect to Ibjjf of how they handled that. Let's talk about different things than just Ibjjf. You've been living in USA for how many years now? 4 or 5 years now, something like that.
Yeah, I moved here 2014 or 15. I don't remember now.
Oh, okay. So like 5, 6 years, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. And you are teaching in Dallas right now, right?
Yes. Dallas downtown.
Yeah. And unfortunately, last time I was in Dallas, we didn't meet because you were not in Dallas at the time that I was there. So I hope next time.
When I got back and it had just left.
Yeah, that's right. And I hope next time that I visit Dallas, I don't miss you when you're not over there.
It will be a pleasure.
There was actually one question asking about having a jiu-jitsu as a profession in America, because in Finland it's very hard to have a jiu-jitsu as a profession. It's almost impossible. I don't say it's impossible, because there's also some people that actually do jiu-jitsu for a living, but it's near possible in here. But in America, there's lots of people who are working jiu-jitsu for a living. And one of the questions was what else there is to do if you want to do jiu-jitsu for a living, part of teaching or being a referee, which pays a little bit. And is there anything else? Of course, doing DVDs and seminars and competing super fights, but that's not for everybody. It's reserved for a full amount of people. But is there anything that apart from teaching or refereeing that you can do to make a living, or not even living, but to make more income from jiu-jitsu?
Like now we have so many professional tournaments, right? but like you said, it's not for everyone. I remember Master Pejbano saying once that 99% of the people that complains about not getting paid in tournaments wouldn't make any money if there was if they were supposed to get paid, because would be still the same guys that wins the tournaments that would be making money.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the seminars are not like before, that you would do a seminar anywhere and it would have a lot of people trying to go. Okay, a lot of people now they search about jiu-jitsu. They try to see who is the top guy at the moment, you know. And if your name is not in there, even for a guy that like used to be the best one in the world, but he has like retired like 5-6 years ago, people will not care. Like, because usually in seminars, the student care more about the picture that he will take with the guy than what he will learn from that guy. Right?
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. Like,
yeah, very, because like if you bring in someone to your school, that's a little bit of mistake done by the professors as well, because like doesn't matter how famous you are, I will not bring you to my school if I don't think you have anything to pass to my students. Maybe there is a guy that lost to you 15 times that I believe will be a way better person to come to my school to teach a seminar.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge for the professor to push to the students that type of understanding, you know. But we still have like Heffering doesn't pay as much as it should, especially due to the responsibilities that you care about there, that you care while you're there,
and the hours that you are doing their job. It's
because
when you have
the job,
1,000 people, more than 1,000 people in a tournament, for a one-day tournament, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be very, very long.
Yeah, like you get there 8 in the morning and you stay there until like 8 p.m. So
Yeah.
it's 12 hours. So, but with a school, you can make a good living here. You can make a good living here. Like if you know jiu-jitsu and you really care about the students, you're gonna be able to do a good job. You're gonna be, but doesn't matter how much you know. If you sit on the corner with your phone in your hand while they drill something that you don't even care about who is doing right, who is doing wrong, you know, then doesn't matter how famous you are, you're not gonna have that many students. They will come at your school first to take a picture with you, but if you're not nice to them, they will not stay, right?
Yeah.
So I believe most of the money people make are from teaching and maybe private classes, you know.
Mm.
But it's not that hard to make at least an okay living here just by doing that.
Yeah, yeah. In your opinion, who is the best jiu-jitsu coach at the moment?
Coach, like it's complicated, I believe, to say that, because you see
Let's have a
guy,
separate. Jiu-jitsu teacher is one thing and coach is another thing. If we talk about just let's first talk about coaches. Who coaches competitors? Who is the best competition coach?
Yeah, you see that sometimes a guy going to one of those professional tournaments like Fight to Win, Who's Number One, that Flow Grappling does now, you know, like you see a guy walking in with 3 students, and you see that he has a way better connection to one of them than to the others. Okay, when I did the live with Gustavo Dantas, the BJJ mental coach, I spoke a little bit about that. You know, I remember the connection between Julio and Rodolfo was something beyond amazing. I remember the connection between my master, Wendell, and Leo Santos was beyond amazing. The connection you see between Lloyd Irving and Muhammad is like something else. The connection you see by John Danaher and Gordon is that same thing, you know. Rodrigo Cavaca and Felipe Andrew, they have that type of connection as well. When you see Cavaca on his corner, it's a different guy, you know. Like, I think when you see something like that, it's like for me that compete a lot, it's special. It's very, very special.
Who did you
know,
have in your corner when you were fighting? Your brother or was it Wendell?
no, man, that's most of the times was my brother. Okay, because we were all together, you know, training and doing everything. So most of the time was him. Even if we agree that we weren't the best for each other on that sense. Like a lot of times I was the one taking care of him getting ready for something, but by the time we were there was someone else. Like Rodrigo Feijão is one of the guys that he loved the most on his corner, you know. So and you have to understand that as well. It's very important. Yeah, I don't think I ever felt like really connected to someone competing on that, like those examples I just gave to you.
Yeah.
I never felt myself that well connected on that sense. But you
Yeah.
see so many, like I believe it's easy to say that as a coach, John and Gordon, because they are the ones that are winning the most now. And when you see, even if he still wins, when John is not on his corner, he doesn't perform on the same way. You see, like he maybe is a little bit off the timing on the things.
Yeah.
Because the connection is so good that a lot of times John says something that is still about to happen. A movement that the guy will do. So, hey, he's coming to your right, adjust your hip, and then there comes something. Just keep working. He's gonna give what you want. So those are the type of things that it's very, very good to see, on my opinion.
Yeah. How about if we make a separation from the coach to teacher? Because I think coach is different than teacher. And who do you think is the best jiu-jitsu teacher? Who would you invite to your school to teach from all the jiu-jitsu teachers in the world?
Man, I think we wouldn't go that far. Okay, I believe right now, if I have to choose one person, I think would be Rodrigo Feijão. You know, I think he's like it's closer. It's closer to what I like as well. You
Yeah.
know, it's hard because when you have so much years on that, you're gonna disagree with things a little bit, small things here and there.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe the one that would match like closer to what I believe would be Feijão. But like I like a lot, especially because I can see the job my brother does at his school. You know, it's easy to see how passionate he is, how much he care about his students. It's one of the most important things. Pano does a wonderful job as well. Okay, those are guys that I can see. I can tell that Galvão does a good job, but I never been to his school.
Yeah.
So then I don't feel like Leticia does a wonderful job in Morango. They do an amazing job, but when I've been to their school, only Morango was there. So I could see him, but even if I believe I know a lot about her job, I never seen her in person.
Yeah.
Okay, so from the guys that I could see, like Wendell, even like I don't know how many years he has been teaching, like the passion that he shows every time he steps on the mat, you know, it's amazing. One guy that I would definitely try to bring to my school if he was teaching and working only with jiu-jitsu would be Del Santos.
Yeah.
Because like I never really consider him my professor, even if I have trained with him, okay, back in 1997, 98. Yes, back then, okay. But he's the guy that made me develop my game.
Yeah.
He was the guy that I would go to and sometimes just watch and pick little details here and there and bring to my game. So he was the biggest motivation. He was the biggest thing for my game, for the type of game I like to play, was him. Even if my professor was Wendell and André Pederneiras.
Yeah. How about who do you think is the best competitor in Jiu-Jitsu at the moment? The best fighter in all the categories?
Man, that is it's I like I would try to tell you the ones I like to watch, because the level is so high that, you know, now I like to watch Felipe Andrew a lot, because it's kill or die, or he finishes or he taps. You know, I like that a lot, and you can see there's still room to get better.
Yeah.
Like him, Roberto Jimenez is a very good kid as well, that you see that is improving, and every time he steps on the mat, try his best. You know, I like to watch Nicholas a lot too. I like to watch, yes, because he goes for the finish as well. you know, like those type of guys that you don't see. There is not that many game plan. They go, they know what to do, and they go like Leandro Lo goes for a war. It's not that, oh, if my hand is not here where I like, I will not move because then I will be like vulnerable,
Yeah.
you know? So there is some of those guys. It's like Lucas Lepre. You don't see that guy. If you beat him, it's because you did a perfect fight, because he does not make mistakes.
We have had a good question in the YouTube comments. Is IBJJF going to ban or prohibit the berimbolo grip, the butt grip, like UAE Jiu-Jitsu Federation did? I didn't even know that the UAE Jiu-Jitsu Federation banned the grip. I think it's the grip when you grip inside the pants, like from the butt. Is that something that IBJJF even consider of banning, or thinking that it's? And I don't even know why that it's banned in World Pro Jiu-Jitsu.
I don't know how they talk about how do they set up those rules, okay, in Abu Dhabi. I don't know if someone who is responsible for that just goes there and do it. I don't know. Like the thinking IBJJF is we take all of those things we take to the professors, okay, and they vote for yes or no. So if it's still there, it's because most of the main schools in the world believe that it should be allowed still. Okay, my opinion, it's like inside sleeve, inside pants grip would be, I would consider the same, you know. So I don't think it should be legal, that type of grip.
From the butt.
Yeah,
Inside the
because
pants.
goes inside the same way as the sleeve grip goes.
Yeah.
You know, so I believe, and IBJJF rules, they are related to safety and to keep the martial arts jiu-jitsu alive inside that sports contest. You know, we have to find a balance in between those things. That's why so many people, we should be this, and that should be available. Okay, but would you believe that you would have 300 students on your school if you allow them to do a slam on close guard? Imagine a parent walking in, professor, can I talk to you? I want to bring my son, and then one of your students does a slam on the other, and the guy pass out. What does that parent gonna do?
They're gonna walk back home.
So yeah, like those are the examples where you can, if you understand that, you can see why some things don't happen on IBJJF. Like you said, like some weekends we have 5 different tournaments all around the world. Okay, and the goal is to make jiu-jitsu the martial arts with the bigger number of people training.
Yeah.
Like, and taking advantage of that jiu-jitsu lifestyle. If I have, if I allow a lot of people to do some of those things, we're never gonna have that.
Yeah.
So how many people you think got injury on the last HCC or getting ready for that. Okay, but it's every 2 years. It's the Olympic of the grappling. Imagine you having to do every weekend HCC all around the world. Would make it like more, the tournament would be more famous, or would have a lot of people not looking so much because there is so many people that they know got injured there and that type of stuff.
Yeah, I understand that, and especially when we're talking about such a huge organization, and there's so many competitions going on around the world, it's always, like you said, balance between the safety and sport and the martial arts aspect of the sport, as you say.
Yeah.
Um, Now that we're actually talking about IBJJF again, we had a question that came beforehand in Instagram, and asking about the Globetrotters, which I think you, because you don't work for the IBJJF office, you're only a referee, that you couldn't tell that why Globetrotters were banned from IBJJF, but just to have your opinion, do you know about the banning of Globetrotters, and what is your opinion of that situation, or do you even have an opinion of that?
What I do know is what I saw on internet. Okay,
Yeah.
It was the open letter that IBJJF released for everyone to see. Okay, and even if I talk to them, like, if not every day, for sure every week, okay, I never had a conversation about that, because I don't think it should be something that would be interesting for me to step on that area. They made their decision based on what they believe is right and wrong. My opinion is, if you want to see jiu-jitsu still as a martial arts, it's totally right, because you teach someone for like 15 years, you give this person like a black belt, and then that person just leave your school because there will be someone that never saw that student in person to sign for him to compete in any tournament. That's one side of the and for me, because I see jiu-jitsu as a martial art, that's what I believe is the right thing. Okay, I think we shouldn't even be having that conversation, but it's based on the sports aspect of the thing. So it's just a sport. They don't have to care about who have trained that person. Okay, if they want to compete, let's give them an opportunity. So I don't think would be like a right or wrong. It's just the way you see the things. It's like the way Gordon talks on internet. Like, am I allowed to say that's right or wrong? No, I'm not him.
Yeah.
If it's what he likes and he's doing to himself, no one else. So, okay, let him be who he is.
Yeah.
Like, you see by the sports contest, he's awesome. If you see by the martial art contest, then he's no good. So what's your my thoughts would be based on what I believe, and yours based on what you believe, and what he does is based on what he believes. That's it.
That's good. And we got a thumbs up for the answer in about the betting ball grip. So obviously your answer on the berimbolo grip was approved by the viewer who was asking about the question. Is there anything that if you would own IBJJF and you could do anything that you can do with IBJJF, how would you change IBJJF as a federation or as an organization or as a sport?
Yeah, I think it took on the size that it is now. Okay, like all around the world, I believe that the challenge is to keep improving and making it better for everyone. Okay, like you cannot get your head down because of the complaints, but you cannot keep your head too up that you're not gonna see there are complaints. You know, you have to see the good and the bad side and everything, and keep working to make it even if you're not gonna make it perfect, even if you're not gonna be able to good for everyone, but still work to if the goal is to have the biggest number of jiu-jitsu trained people around the world, if they have to choose a tournament where they will be able to test themselves, get out of their comfort zone, but still be able to go back Monday and go work, you know, still go back to their regular life, take care of their kids, wife, and everything related to that, you know. If that's the goal, we cannot stop improving. Yeah. We cannot stop improving, especially because now there is a big battle about that. It's like people trying to, especially with internet, trying to bring that, increase that competitive thing inside the IBJJF, even if IBJJF is like live by tournaments, you know. Yeah. It has to keep the martial art alive, and all that success that the grappling tournaments are having now is based on kids that grew up working that way, that became black belts with a very good level of technique that can adapt to every other rule set and win most of them.
Yeah.
I would never be the master of let's say heel hooks, but having 30 years in jiu-jitsu, I do know how to defend, protect myself.
Yeah. Do you think IBJJF getting kind of like too big because of amount of tournaments and amount of people?
Like, I don't think so. I saw the interview that the boss gave to Fábio Gurgel on his like, the goal is to make jiu-jitsu even bigger, you know. And if there's some places that we are far beyond, we are far away of going there, and now there is some federations taking advantage of that and going to those places. It's good for who? For jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
it's good for jiu-jitsu. Like if the goal is to make jiu-jitsu worldwide the biggest martial art, then there's a lot more to grow yet. A lot more to grow yet.
One more question that is something that pops up like from time to time in a jiu-jitsu discussion is should jiu-jitsu be an Olympic sport? I have a pretty strong opinion on that, but I want to know what is your opinion. Should Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu be an Olympic sport?
Like, if you want to keep the martial art alive, no. I don't think so. Because just take a look on to what happened to most of the martial arts that became Olympic sports, and you're gonna have the answer.
I
I
have
don't.
exactly the same opinion. I think the idea of trying to go to the Olympics is good because that makes that makes jiu-jitsu stronger. It makes it better for competitors. It makes it better for everybody. But if it goes to the Olympics, it's gonna be horrible for jiu-jitsu because then it should be about the spectators and how many people are gonna watch the matches on television and stuff like that. And to be honest, jiu-jitsu is not that fun to watch if you don't know jiu-jitsu. It's
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have. Do you have spectators in jiu-jitsu tournaments? No, you have
not,
competitors that they are
yeah,
there watching before
yeah,
or after their fight.
yes.
Right?
Or then it's a friend of a competitor or mother or father or something like that, girlfriend or boyfriend. But like random people, they just don't come and watch the tournaments. There's a one of my friends who was watching my first tournament, my first Finnish championships in Finland. He's a karate guy, and he had a couple of beer and came to watch the Jiu-Jitsu Finnish championships that was in his city. And he sent me a message after the tournament, and he said that it looks like two meatballs were making love. And I think that is a good analogy of how jiu-jitsu looks to the people who doesn't know what jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah.
But I agree. Jiu-jitsu should try to be in Olympics, but never go to Olympics. That would be the best thing for that.
Like we if we get to the Olympics, we're never gonna be the biggest martial art in the world. So I don't think it should. I always talk to when I'm teaching the rules seminar. There's some jokes that I like to make while I'm teaching. That the first one is, if you have a new girlfriend and you tell her that you're gonna do a jiu-jitsu tournament, for sure, 100% sure she will ask you to go with you, and that will be the last one, unless she start training with you. Okay, but okay, babe, I did not understand anything, so now I want to train with you, so I can go with you on the next, or she will never go again.
Yeah.
Even if she wants to be there for you, she will not go because, like, is it fun to be there? Like, if you don't understand, it's not. It's not like football that you see there's a goal, the ball past the line, it's goal. It's not the goal line, it's something else. So volleyball, the ball hits the floor, it's point to someone. Like even judo, like whoever take the other one down wins. Okay, good. I can understand that. Wrestling, would be like same as judo but without the gi. If I take you down, I win. If you take me down, you win. Okay, not knowing the rules, but I can still see that. But can I understand what means beating bolo? Like, imagine you never done jiu-jitsu and you're gonna watch a fight of Michael Musumeci and João Miao.
And two guys sitting down and standing on their heads.
Nah, it will not make any sense for you.
Yeah. But for jiu-jitsu person, it's a amazing fight because two very technical guys doing a lot of things that are very technical and talented stuff. So
Exactly.
it's very interesting for people who know what's happening. But for people who doesn't know, they see two guys very skinny, very small, looking like they're about to go to sleep, and then they sit
Yeah.
they sit down and then they go on their heads, and that's how
Exactly.
they're gonna stay there for 8.5 minutes until somebody gets somebody's back.
all about that. And even for us, let's say like way bigger, way heavier than them, we're not gonna be able to do the movements that they do, at
Yeah,
least not the way they do,
for sure.
right? But we still can see how efficient it is,
Yeah,
because we know the concept and we can work on that. We're not gonna do, but we can still teach that to someone.
yeah.
So it is complicated. It was one of the reasons that IBJJF opened for the white belts to compete, because as a black belt don't go for a tournament and buy a gi. So a white belt is the one that go for tournament and sits there and watch tons of fights and buy t-shirt, buy gi. So you can not just do a tournament, but create a whole market around that to make jiu-jitsu even stronger. More people investing on that, more people making money with that. You know, one of the things that you asked me in the beginning, like how could someone make money, make a good living off jiu-jitsu? It's like there's so many guys creating their own brands, like making rash guards, making gis, and all types of products related to jiu-jitsu, just for the jiu-jitsu community, and making good money, making a good live on top of that.
Yeah,
Because and it was because of the white belts on the tournament, because that they are the ones that make that money circle around.
yeah, yeah. Black belts don't buy, especially in the world's like biggest stars and like the top competitors. They're not buying the T-shirt or they're not buying the gi because most
They're
of them
bringing
are
their own
sponsored.
sell for
Yes,
those belts.
they they are making their own. That's true. Yeah,
Yeah, and they already have their sponsors that gives them the gi, or even they are making their own gi for their school, and they use that. If they don't have a sponsor, they use that gi just to for everyone to see, so then people would like to buy it as well. So that's how you circle the money around, you
yeah,
know.
that's true. Hey, it's been like an hour and a half almost that we've been doing this. Um Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties in the beginning, but it has been running pretty smoothly after that. Is there anything else you want to say before we close out?
No, first say thank you. Say I know how hard you work in Finland for jiu-jitsu. I know how much you love that, you know, and think because of people like you that jiu-jitsu is growing that much as well. Okay, it's not like it's someone that has a minimum contact with IBJJF, but loves jiu-jitsu on the same way, and still follows, still watch everything that happened over there. Okay, is all the time talking to me, not just here now, but is all the time asking about things related to the rules, to understand. Like I remember one time that you said, like, I thought it was wrong, but I wanted to ask you first. And then based on what I answered to you, so okay, so then I wasn't right. So you waited until, if we had more people like that trying to understand what happened, and to and then judge, we would have a way stronger. Okay, we are, as I have phrased, we are not trying to be famous. We are trying to the good thing is be able to walk in, walk off, not no one knowing who we are, and be able to lay the head on the pillow and very good night of sleeping, knowing that you did a good job on every area of your life. You go to bed knowing that you providing everything you should to your kids, giving a good life to your family. Your wife is happy. You're doing a good job at your work. So that those are the type of the things that makes you go to bed. And don't think that we don't care, because I have seen so many referees making mistakes and like feeling really bad about that. You know, really bad. They do, most of them, okay, for sure. I cannot tell you that all of them are that way, okay, but we are working to make it better, and not to make people talk good about us, but just make them stop talking about us. That would be the good, you know.
That would be the
Because,
good. Yes,
yeah, because if they are not talking, it means we are being very successful walking in and off without even being noticed.
that's good. Thank you, Rico, and I hope I see you sooner than later. And to everybody watching, go and subscribe and click the bell and enjoy more BJJ Suomi Live next Sunday. Kiitos. Os.
Thank you. Bye bye.